6 months after motorsport's elite drivers first tested their 2020 cars at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, F1 was back for first practice ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel was the first driver out on track. Ferrari have given him a new chassis after damage he sustained at Silverstone, coupled with an inability to dial out his issues with his previous car, had left both him and the team frustrated. The German wasn't the only driver with a new chassis, McLaren giving Carlos Sainz a new tub in an attempt to overcome the issues he's been experiencing on his MCL 35. Sainz has said that 2020 has been his worst ever start to a season. Sitting 11th in the driver's standings, some 23 points adrift of his teammate Lando Norris in 5th, the Spaniard is hoping to turn a page this weekend at a track where he always goes well. Sergio Perez marked his return after an enforced break due to his positive COVID-19 test by outpacing his teammate, at one point getting a little close for comfort with Alfa Romeo's Kimi Raikkonen. Not to be outdone, his Racing Point colleague Lance Stroll also refused to give way for the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, who himself demonstrated some of his rally driving skills through turn 14, and later suffered a close encounter with a flying object.
That was close. Just clearly hit a bird.
Neither the Finn nor teammate Lewis Hamilton have taken news of a proposed ban on qualifying engine modes as a big threat, with the 6-time world champion stating the change won't stop the Silver Arrow's success. The Briton flirted with the margins as he chased his teammate's superior time, going wide of the raised curbs at turn 13. Williams reserve driver Roy Nissany took the place of George Russell, becoming the first Israeli driver to compete in an F1 practice session since his father Chanok drove for Minardi at Hungary in 2005. The F2 driver did a pirouette at turn 10, and with no damage done to Russell's car, finished the session slowest of all, albeit at a respectable margin of less than 3/10 to Nicholas Latifi in the sister Williams, as the Canadian himself felt the heat under the Spanish sun.
Just for reference, under my butt, it's quite hot for some reason, more than anything I felt, so not worried, but I don't know if you see anything.
Romain Grosjean survived a big wobble on the exit of turn 15 at the start of a weekend where both he and teammate Kevin Magnussen have insisted there's more performance to be found in their 2020 cars. And so it proved, with both drivers surprising the establishment by ending the session in the top 10 and on the same pace as the Racing Points. So it's Bottas who finishes the session in P1, narrowly ahead of championship leader Hamilton and last week's race winner Max Verstappen. The Ferrari duo were next up, with Vettel in his new chassis seemingly much happier and just 1/10 of a second slower than teammate Charles Leclerc. Grosjean was an impressive P6 ahead of the returning Perez, with Alex Albon 8th, Magnussen 9th and Lance Stroll completing the top 10. Carlos Sainz took his new chassis to P11 ahead of Esteban Ocon P12, with Norris 13th. P14 at the flag for Pierre Gasly, ahead of the Alfa Romeos of Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen. Danny Kvyat was 17th, with Daniel Ricciardo having another low-key Friday morning in 18th, and the two Williams drivers rounding out the leaderboard.